Returning Survivor. Chapter 1. Down in Ponyville, a party was winding down, celebrating the return of Princess Luna. As is the norm of all Pinkie Pie parties, everyone was tired and preparing to leave. "Well, Pinkie," Princess Celestia started, "this has been lots of fun, but..." At this point, Princess Celestia was cut off by a sharp cling ringing out. "Huh?" was the official word of the day, as the entire party turned to face the sound and then gasping at the sight. There, walking down the street, clinging every other step, was a midnight black pony, with a flaming red mane. His eyes were crimson, with a haunted look that distracted one from his roughed-up appearance. His cutie mark was a simple toolbox with several tools spilling out of it. But what really caught every pony's attention was the source of the clinging sound, for in place of his front right leg was a solid steel mechanical leg. Walking forward, pulling a cart filled with crates of what appeared to be maps, journals, and supplies, this mysterious stallion stopped in front of the two princesses, saluted, and said, "Corporal Mecha of the 444th Scouting Division, reporting in." At this, Princess Celestia blinked and replied, "Did you say 444th Scouting Division?" Still holding a salute, the newly identified Mecha said, "Yes, ma'am." Blinking, Twilight Sparkle looked at Princess Celestia and asked, "Why do you look so startled? I mean, yeah, he's a little roughed up, but isn't that expected? Although I am curious about that metal leg of his." She trailed off as she tried to examine the leg in closer detail. Realizing Mecha was still saluting, Celestia spoke up, saying, "At ease. Now, Twilight, the reason I'm surprised is, well..." Seeing that Princess Celestia was hesitating, Mecha spoke for her, stating, "The 444th Squad disappeared, or at least to the world, 666 days ago." The crowd surrounding the group, having been silent until this point, started whispering, 666 days ago? That is almost 2 years. Furthermore, what happened to the rest of the 444th? Looking around, Mecha spoke up. "You were right about the foul play being involved with the disappearance of activity in the area you sent us, but not about the cause." Realizing that she'd finally hear about the cause of the disappearance of an entire division, Princess Celestia nodded her head to signal for him to carry on. Taking a deep breath, Mecha spoke a sentence that stunned everyone into silence. "The cause, Princess of the cause was the presence of the gates of hell." No one could move. Gates of hell? Could it really be possible? Seeing people getting tense, Mecha continued, "We entered the gates, not realizing what they were until we were inside, and by then, we were forced to blow them up or risk letting demons escape into Equestria. Once trapped, we started to try and find a way out. Unfortunately, most died in the first week." Gasping, the crowd started whispering again, all saying basically the same thing. Death? After all, this was Equestria, the most peaceful nation in the world. How was it possible? How was it possible? Ignoring the crowd surrounding him, Mecha continued, "The week after was worse, not in the death tally, but instead the assault having lasted longer than most. We had attracted the attention of the Seven Lords, Lust, who used her looks to try and turn our brothers in arms into her slaves, Gluttony, who used trickery to try and make us eat poison, thinking it fresh homemade meals, Greed, whose power turned stones to gems, leading several away in an attempt to gain wealth to take home, Sloth, whose spell led to a short but deadly sleep, Wrath, who directly attacked us, Envy, who turned one against the other in fits of madness, claiming the other held something truly precious in that nightmare, Water, and Pride, who preyed on those who felt that surviving the previous encounters would make them invincible, to the remaining demons. After that, I was the only one left. Having ran, I saw the thousands of demons that pride had brought. Thankfully, there's one thing about hell that I am thankful for. Hearing this, every pony just stared slack-jawed at him. Something about hell to be thankful for. They were going to have nightmares about this, and they weren't even in hell. And yet here he was, thankful for a part of it. Seeing the looks of disbelief, Mecha merely chuckled and said, I am thankful for the fact that hell cannot keep anything not originally from hell inside it for more than 666 days. To wrap up my debrief, the journals in this chart are the entirety of the findings of hell, and I will not be renewing my enlistment in 4 days. Blinking and looking at the sky to realize that Luna had gone and done her job of raising the moon, Princess Celestia said, That is a lot to take in. However, I do have one final question for you. Ask away, ma'am. Where do you intend to stay? Chuckling once more, Mecha stated, If my aunt is still here, I intend to live with her until I get my own place. Raising an eyebrow, Princess Celestia asked the question that every pony wanted to ask. Who is your aunt? From amidst the crowd, a voice rang out, startling every pony, saying, That would be me. Every pony turned and backed away from the voice to reveal none other than Mayor Mare. I have to admit, Mayor Mare started, after I got word from your parents that your whole division had upped and disappeared, I never thought I'd see you again. It was at this moment that something totally unexpected should happen. So, of course, it was Pinky who shouted, Wait a cotton-pickin' cupcake, baking chocolate cake, smearing hopscotch, playing minute. You expect us to believe that this guy here was part of some troupe or whatever that disappeared nearly 2 years ago into this hell place, happens to be related to the mayor, and only shows up now, of all times, like a setup from some story? Looking her straight in the eyes, Mecha said, Yep. Smiling brightly, Pinky merely said, Okay, before beginning to trot away. Blinking, Princess Celestia simply looked over the crowd and said to Twilight, Since it's so late, I think we'll stay here tonight. That is, if you think you have enough room with you in the library for tonight. Going wide-eyed, Twilight Sparkle practically shouted, Yes! Looking at the poor pony's eardrums that she had all but shattered, she chuckled and said, I have plenty of room. Chuckling at her most faithful student's reaction, Princess Celestia merely walked into the library. At this point, almost every pony had gone their own way. Looking over his shoulder, Mecha told Mayor Mare, I'm going to drop this cart off next to the library, and then walk around for a bit. Caught slightly off guard, his aunt only asked, Are you sure you don't want to go to bed? It's quite late, and I doubt you slept well at all during your time in hell. With the ghost of a grin, Mecha replied, You'd be surprised at just how true that is, but I don't need this sleep. I'll explain some other time, okay? With some minor trepidation, she nodded her head and walked home. Mecha then did as he said and started his walk towards the center of town. Looking up, he saw the stars sparkling brightly, standing as a stark contrast to the edge of the black nothingness of space, with the moon bright and full being a reminder that Princess Luna had returned from her madness of Nightmare Moon, and was standing right before him. Well, Mecha stated, this is something I didn't see coming. Turning around to see him, Princess Luna stated, I must confess, I didn't think I would see thou here, especially so late. Usually I'm all by myself, and it did not occur to think that such would change over the course of these last 1,000 years. Lips in the barest form of a smile, Mecha replied, If we are to be honest, you most likely wouldn't have come across any pony tonight, as I am only up due to what happened to me in hell. Nodding in understanding, Luna spoke the question on her mind. Then, if thou dost mind my asking, why is thou up so late? It is not that thou is unwelcome, but it is unusual. Looking into her eyes, Mecca began to explain. It's not actually all that much. Combine heart attack-inducing nightmares if you sleep for more than an hour with a lack of way to tell time, and you end up needing about an hour of sleep for only 2 or 3 days. Nodding her head, Luna spoke up, saying, Thou makes a good point. At this point, they both stayed silent and continued to walk through the town. And that's the end of Chapter 1. If anyone enjoyed this, which they probably didn't because I stuttered a lot and I did a lot of screwing up in the words, yeah, if you enjoyed it, like. If you didn't, well, oh well. Thank you for listening.